Today we're going to be talking all about the difference between what material goes on a resume versus your cover letter. And I think this is one of the areas where people get most frustrated or confused when they start trying to write a cover letter, and it's because they have no idea what the point of it is and what information makes sense to repeat and what can just be left on the resume. So that's what we're going to focus on today. So when you're going to write a cover letter, I actually recommend that you go back to the job description and do a little activity to ensure that all of your materials are as tailored and applicable to that job as possible. So this exercise is something that you can do when editing your resume as well. So I recommend printing out the job description or copying, pasting it, and putting it into a Word doc because, first of all, when an employer goes to interview candidates, sometimes they actually remove the listing, and if you don't have a copy for your records, you're going to have to ask for it, which can just add another complicated step to the process. But second of all, and most relevant to this exercise, is I really want you to sit down and dissect that job description. So don't just look at the qualifications or the skills, which is what many people do. Slowly work your way through the entire document to notice what themes the employer is bringing up. So they might be talking about having to work in a fast-paced environment and the culture being really innovative and new. There's a startup feel and there's not a lot of guidelines, but there's a lot that gets done, and that's in the company blurb. And then you move on to the job description and there's similar sentiments shown there. And then in the qualifications or skills, it also says you must have a demonstrated ability to work well under pressure, work in a fast-paced environment, and respond well to changes in priorities. So right there, instead of just noticing it once in that job description qualifications section, you can see it comes up 3 different times, which is how you know it's a really critical part of what they're looking for in a candidate. So based on that exercise, you can actually look at what is most relevant and important to emphasize about yourself in both your resume and your cover letter. So now let's go back to the original question, which is what should stay just on the resume versus the cover letter. So when you're doing that exercise of walking through and really breaking down the job description to notice what themes exist and also how your background and skills align, you're going to have what I call aha moments. So these are moments where an employer is describing a skill set that they have or a part of a role, and you think, oh, that's exactly what I've done in this position, or that's exactly what my job is right now. So in those moments when you notice there's such a strong connection between what they're looking for and what you have, it's important to make a big note that that is exactly what should go into your cover letter. That's really critical information. So that should be the real meat or biggest part of what you're emphasizing. And then anything else where you've noticed thematically it comes up multiple times in the job description and the qualifications, that is other information that you should tie in a more narrative form into your cover letter. So when in doubt, your resume should have the certain keywords or verbs or consistent phrasing that is coming up in the job description. So your cover letter is the chance to really start to flesh out and go into more detail about an example of a skill you have that maybe only got half of a bullet in terms of description on your resume. If there's a volunteer experience or something that isn't on your resume, but it's one of those aha moments, your cover letter is the perfect chance to go into detail and describe exactly what that is. I hope this helps give clarification to you about what makes sense to keep on your resume and what you really need to give more attention to in your cover letter. If you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comments section or reach out for a free 30-minute consultation. Thanks for watching and have a great day.